In Quad We Trust is the title of this class. So just take a nice big inhalation. In through the nose, all the way down to the belly. Exhale, just let the belly fall. Bringing your full attention and awareness on those knees and the front of the thighs. These large muscles in the front of the thighs hold you up. They support you. When you're standing and walking, when you get up from a seated position or go to sit down, these thigh muscles, the quadriceps, are so important. We don't think about using those muscles. We trust that they're holding us up, that they're lifting us, that they're lowering us slowly. We just trust that they're there and functioning the way that we need them to be, keeping the awareness in the body so that we can begin to pay attention to some very subtle cues, some subtle ways that those muscles work. So we're going to stretch the legs out in front of you. You can stay seated, and you can just do one leg at a time. So you can stay seated on a bolster or blocks, and let's just pay attention to the right leg first. So one of the first things that we ask clients to do after surgery or injury to the knee is we ask them to do a quad set, which is just tightening the top thigh muscle. Tighten and release. So you want to just pay attention to the bulk of the quad. You can also look at the kneecap. And so you tighten that thigh, that top thigh muscle. You'll feel that kneecap draw up slightly and then release. Just tighten and release. Tighten and release. Tighten and release. You might not be able to see very well with my black pants, but just tighten and release. And you want to feel like it's really localized to the top of the thigh. You don't want to feel like you're tightening in the hip, the foot doesn't need to move, just localizing, just tightening the quad, relaxing the quad. Tighten and release. As you go down onto your back. So you're resting the thigh onto the block, and you're going to do the same thing, but now you're lifting the heel. Tighten and then let it go. So tighten the top of the thigh, straighten the knee, and then relax it. Just a few of these. Sometimes it gives you even more awareness of the top of the thigh as you do what we call terminal knee extension in our physical therapy language. Just working on that last little bit of extension of the knee, which is all a function of this thigh muscle. Okay, now just bend that left leg. You can get rid of the block for now. And you're going to do what we did before. So tighten the top of the thigh. The foot is pointed straight up towards the ceiling. Engage your core, flatten the back so the small of the back pushes down towards the floor. And lift that whole leg. Pause and then lower, keeping your core engaged, and relax. Tighten the top of the thigh, engage the core, lift the thigh, nice straight knee, lower the leg, relax. Tighten, engage, lift, lower, and relax. Lots of things to think about. Tighten the top of the thigh, engage the core, lift the whole leg, lower the leg, keep the core nice and tight, and then relax everything. Now go ahead and step wide. So right foot rolls to the short edge, chest and pelvis faces the long edge, a little bit of an angle to that left. Engage that lower belly up and in, tailbone drops down, bend that right knee. So go ahead and let that right knee bend. Now we want to feel it in the quad. So light on the toes, and just like we did in bridge position, push down through that heel. Feel like you're pushing that whole foot towards the short edge of the mat. Engage the lower belly, squeeze that left side of your bottom. Arms come to parallel. Push into that heel, look over the right hand, and make sure the alignment's correct. So you want to see the knee going out over the middle of the foot, not towards the inside of the foot. But again, light on the toes. Feel that pushing into the heel so you really engage that thigh. Now we're challenging things. Lower belly draws up. Shoulders are sitting right over those heels, or hips. Shoulders right over the hips. Maybe you feel like you can get a little deeper in that knee bend. Feel the weight into the right heel, squeezing that left heel, squeezing the left side of your bottom. Arms come down, push that right knee straight. So now for chair pose. So if you have the chair and you want to use it, you can, absolutely. I'll leave it there as a target. It's good to know where it is. That way you can challenge yourself to go a little bit deeper. Feet are hip width distance apart. Kind of play with cat-cow and standing so that you know where that pelvis is in space. Because you want to have that core up and engaged, but you also want to lift the tailbone back behind you so that you bend the knees, bend the hips towards chair pose. Your torso is lifted. Feel like you can look straight ahead. The chest is lifted. Bring those arms overhead. Take a peek at your knees. Ankles, knees, and hips are all in alignment. Can you think about sitting those hips back behind those heels? And then inhale, come all the way up. Arms come down. We're going to do it again. I'll turn sideways just so you can see the position. Put the weight into the heels. Lower belly draws up. Arms overhead. Reach those hips back. It's almost as though your lower legs stay perfectly vertical as you go to sit back behind. Only go to the point where you feel like you're a little tippy, like you're at that spot where you might fall backwards, but you don't want to really lean forward into the balls of the feet. Keep squeezing that lower belly. Sit those hips back. That's where you're going to feel the effort. Check the knees. Make sure they're pushing apart. You don't want them pinching together. They're going right out over the center of the toes. And then come all the way up. Arms come down. And you're going to hang on to the back of the chair. Or you can take the block over to the wall. Hang on to something. And put your whole right foot up on the block. And you're going to step up onto the block. You're going to take the left foot and just pull those toes up so that you're balancing your body weight on that right foot, on the right, on the block. And then you're going to let that right knee bend and just tap your right heel down, your left heel down, and then come right back up. Tap and then come up. It's like climbing the stairs. We're doing that little bit of knee bend, just like we did over the bolster or the block when we were on our backs, just like we did in standing. So that little bit of terminal knee extension. I'm going to show it to you from a front position. We're still on that right side. So here's what you want to watch for. As you look down, you want to make sure that knee is moving out over your toes. And you want to try to keep the pelvis level as you do it. Tap the heel down, come back up. Tap the left heel, come back up. So you're not dropping in the pelvis to tap. Keep the pelvis level, bend the right knee, tap the left heel down. If you can do it while balancing, even better. Here's the other thing you don't want to do. I'm going to show you. You don't want that knee to go inside. So the knee goes right out over the toes. Don't let the knee come to the inside. That lower leg should stay straight up and down as you tap. In quad, we trust. Sometimes when parts of our body's hurting, we don't trust it. But we can create practices to gain trust in our body. Learning how those muscles contract and relax and function helps us understand how to build strength, flexibility, fluidity of the body. The quads hold you up. They support you as you walk. So just as we trained the quads, how can we train other parts of us that lift us up? How can we support ourselves through our thoughts, through our beliefs, creating emotional support as much as we create muscular support? If we're not finding ways to lift ourselves up, then we can stumble. We don't feel supported. Our health can suffer. It's all about building resiliency of body, mind, and spirit. Inhale the palms away from the body. Exhale, palms together, thumbs to the heart. Namaste.